Want to hire talent in another country? You might not need to open a legal entity at all. For decades, that is what companies had to do. Hiring internationally traditionally required setting up a subsidiary, registering with local tax authorities, implementing payroll systems, and complying with employment regulations in that country. But today, companies have additional options. One of the most widely used models is called an employer of record, often abbreviated as EOR. This structure allows organizations to hire employees internationally without first establishing a local entity. Historically, international hiring followed a clear sequence. A company that wanted to employ people in another country first needed to establish a legal presence there. This usually meant forming a subsidiary or branch office and registering with local regulatory authorities. The company would then need to implement payroll infrastructure, comply with tax regulations, and ensure employment contracts followed local labor laws. In many jurisdictions, this process required coordination between legal advisors, accountants, payroll specialists, and human resources teams. Depending on the country, it could take several months before the organization was fully compliant and able to hire its first employee. For companies planning large operations in a new market, this investment could be justified. But for organizations that simply wanted to hire one or two specialists internationally, the cost and administrative complexity often made the process inefficient. An employer of record provides an alternative structure for international employment. In this model, the EOR acts as the legal employer of record in the worker's country. The employee performs work for your company and operates as part of your team. However, the formal employment relationship is maintained by the EOR within that jurisdiction. This tripartite relationship is a cornerstone of global mobility. While the EOR handles the legal heavy lifting, your company retains full control over the employee's output and integration into your corporate culture. This ensures that even though they are legally employed by another entity, they feel like a seamless part of your global workforce. The EOR typically manages responsibilities such as employment contracts, payroll processing, tax withholding and remittance, statutory benefits administration, and compliance with local labor regulations. Your company directs the employee's day-to-day work, responsibilities, and performance, but the EOR handles the administrative and regulatory obligations associated with employment. This structure allows companies to access global talent while relying on existing employment infrastructure in each country. Organizations typically adopt the employer of record model for several strategic reasons. The first strategic reason is speed. Instead of spending months establishing a local entity, companies can often hire employees in a new country within a matter of weeks. Second, administrative efficiency. Managing employment compliance across multiple jurisdictions requires specialized expertise and infrastructure. EOR providers already maintain the payroll systems and regulatory frameworks required to support compliant employment. Third, strategic flexibility. Companies can hire employees in new markets while evaluating long-term business opportunities. Consider a software firm based in the US that finds a brilliant lead engineer in Brazil. Instead of navigating the complex Brazilian labor laws alone, which involve intricate mandatory benefits and 13th-month salaries, the firm partners with an EOR. The engineer gets a compliant local contract, and the firm gets their talent immediately. Furthermore, an EOR provides a buffer against shifting local regulations. As labor laws evolve, the EOR provider updates contracts and payroll processes automatically, shielding your business from unintentional non-compliance and potential legal penalties. If operations grow substantially in that country, the company may later decide to establish its own local entity. While employer of record services are powerful tools for international hiring, they are not always the ideal solution for every situation. EOR providers charge service fees, which companies must include in their cost analysis. One common concern is the protection of intellectual property. EOR providers address this by including robust IP assignment clauses in their local employment contracts. These clauses ensure that any inventions, code, or creative work produced by the employee are legally transferred back to your company regardless of local jurisdiction. Additionally, many EORs offer enhanced liability coverage and data protection standards that align with international frameworks like GDPR. This provides an extra layer of security for companies handling sensitive client data across borders. Certain regulated industries may still require organizations to operate through their own legal entities, and companies planning to build large teams in a specific country may eventually find it more efficient to establish their own local corporate infrastructure. For many organizations, EOR solutions function as a market entry mechanism, enabling global hiring while maintaining operational flexibility. To ensure you're making the right choice for your specific needs, we highly recommend consulting with an international hiring partner or EOR expert. Employer of record providers have become an important component of the global employment ecosystem. They allow companies to access international talent more efficiently. Another common approach is working with independent contractors. In the next video, we'll examine the difference between contractors and EOR employees, and why worker classification matters for global hiring compliance. If you want to build teams without borders, subscribe and like our videos to follow the Global Hiring Guide series. See you in our next video.